What do you say, man? Let's run it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we should do a show. What do you think?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Hey, man. Welcome to the Big Bad Broadcast, dude.
Good morning. I'm here to talk to you about your extended auto warranty.
Hey man, just want to let you know that sometimes you gotta shut the fuck up. You gotta shut the fuck up. And this current time is just one of those times you gotta shut the fuck up.
I don't think you're a bad person. I just don't want to hear you talking anymore. You gotta shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Welcome to the Big Bad Broadcast. And we got a great show for you today, like we always do. And thank you for playing that Trump.
You gotta shut the fuck up.
Inauguration commercial. We got Mike Grief.
Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm feeling good today. I'm in hanging and banging, saying my prayers, eating my vitamins. I'm feeling muscular and sexy. Yeah.
Obviously, you just got out of a tank with that hat on.
Why do I always have to follow that?
And then we got Craig Mitchell.
And I'm Craig Mitchell. I'm not hanging and banging. I'm not sexy. Let's just move on.
Well, thank you for elevating the level of the show.
I'm always there.
But he smells nice. I will give him that.
No, not really. No,
he doesn't smell nice either. That's true.
Very musky. Very musky.
Yeah, that's definitely musky.
Edmund Muskie. Yes.
Oh. So
lots going on.
I'm back from my trip to FLA, where me and John shared studio space. Where we went
fun last week.
It was, man. We got to go swimming. I wanted to let people know this is John Ferrantino. Okay, so we go to the beach, and John, we're hanging out, we're having some sun. It's beautiful,
hanging and banging. And
John, hanging and banging. How you doing? And John's like, hey, I'm gonna go in the water. Let's go in the water. I'm saying, John, I don't really like to go into the ocean water because there are these animals there called sharks, and they like to kind of. I am delicious. I happen to be delicious. I'm coated and everything. John's like, no. It's with deliciousness. But I love it because John tells me, he goes, nah, come on. And he goes, I'm going to tell you a little secret nobody knows. Because we go into the water, he goes, there's this trough here in the ocean, right? You're going about, I don't know, what were we in, about 10, 15, 20, whatever we were. And we're up to about our chest. And he said, there's this trough that's right here. And he goes, that's a natural barrier. The sharks won't come past that. He goes, it's like a magic thing. It's right where I'm standing. And it's just, I'm believing it. So I'm swimming right. Later on, I find out people get attacked all the time in shallower water and we're standing in. But what's the tell me about the trough, John?
All right. So when you leave the beach in Cocoa Beach, the shark capital of the world of Florida,
which he didn't tell me.
It is. There's more shark attacks,
which he didn't tell me,
than anywhere on the East Coast. But anyway, I've been surfing there my entire life. I saw a shark once. But so when you leave the beach, you can walk out about 50, maybe 75 feet, and it's shallow. It's like only up to your knees. Then it drops into a trough, which is about waist deep. And the trough is about 25 feet wide. And then you come out of the trough, and then you're on hard sand. The sharks like to play on the trough because the bait fish swim back and forth in there. So I just always feel like once you're out of the trough, you're in pretty good shape.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm feeling perfect. Meanwhile, we're in water basically up to our chest. And he's saying, right. I don't know. I just, I guess you believe what you want to believe.
At one point, the wave hit you and I go, Mike, you're in the trough, and you ran. and you're like, you did like the 50-yard dash.
I was going to say, I am so gay because you guys are talking about sharks. All I can think is the Jets, the sharks on the Jets. Wait, you're a shark. You're a shark, right?
Oh, man. It's like, it's so, we went from a relaxing day to like, we're in the water. And how some people, they just swim. They love the ocean. I'm standing there the whole time looking for the tip of a fin. Like, I know a fin any second's going to swim by. I'm going to have to punch a shark. Because I always say, if you see a shark, just punch it. Now, even if it's not bothering you, just punch it. Just punch. Come here, shark. Punch. Yeah, just punch a shark.
I thought that was an alligator you're supposed to punch.
No.
An alligator? Are you crazy? An alligator? Do you know that an alligator for the first They say 20 feet is as fast as any racehorse.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah, you
What
don't
do
want
you
to punch it.
So what would you do? Kick it? Let's kick it then.
No,
Well,
you
you-
get in your car and you drive as
you,
fast
you,
as you
you
can.
run over it. You shoot it or you run over it.
You can't even run over it. I was
can't even
driving to
shoot
the I was driving to the airport in Orlando, to the Orlando airport, and there's a strip of road that looks like you've been on the road. It looks like you're in Africa.
Right.
And there was about a 15-foot alligator on the side of the road with skid marks in front of it. And then in front of that was a car, and the two front wheels were back to the door. They say it's like hitting a telephone pole.
Wow, I bet. And you can't even shoot. Like, you ever watch those alligator hunting shows? There's a spot behind its head somewhere that's just like the size of a quarter. That's where you have to shoot it to kill it. Otherwise, it's just
Right.
gonna laugh and go,
So,
now I'm pissed.
Somebody on TikTok said that if you get attacked by an alligator, you go for its eyes.
Yeah. Do you want to be that close to an alligator and go for its eye?
Well, if you get attacked, you have no choice.
Tell
you
it
know?
a joke. It'll start laughing. It'll open its mouth and let you out.
Yeah, it's Wally Gator. It's Wally Gator from the McGilla Gorilla Show.
The only way to get
It is.
the only way to get away from a gator is serpentine shell.
Well, I learned
Serpentine, Shelley.
serpentine. I
Serpentine.
actually learned something yesterday. I have a friend who's a teacher, and she got bitten by one of her students. They're autistic, autistic, and they have whatever, they have issues and
hungry,
and she
apparently.
got whatever, but that she knew exactly what to do. And I never knew this. I'm glad she told. Even with a dog, they say if it bites you, your first instinct is to pull away. But she said what you're supposed to do is you pull your hand into their mouth, and their instinct, then they open their mouth, and you can get your arm out. Otherwise, they're going to rip a chunk of your.
You don't do that with an alligator. He'll take
No,
your whole
I'm
arm
not
if you do
talking
that.
about with an alligator. I said with a dog or something.
So,
Okay, what about an autistic alligator? Now
An
you got
autistic alligator. Then maybe it would work.
So here's how
Yeah, I'm
alligators
definitely biting you.
here's how alligators
Yeah.
work. This is
Here's
like
how
the truck.
alligators work. Good.
This is how they work.
They get in their
okay?
car with their briefcase. They drive
No,
down the highway. They go to
okay,
work.
So an alligator originally isn't going to bite anything off. An alligator will grab you, and then they do the death roll.
Yeah, they put you on
They
the water.
spin around and around and around till you drown. Then they eat whatever they want.
I seem to remember that from Crocodile Dundee. They love to
That's not
spin you
mine.
around, mate. They'll
That's
stiff
not
you
mine.
under a log and let you tenderize a little bit before
Wait, I guess they do have crocodiles in Australia. Otherwise, they wouldn't have that
Yeah.
Of
name.
course they do.
Fresh-
That's why
I
it's
don't know
really,
how they get there.
the whole movie.
they
They're
took a move.
freshwater.
They took a Uber.
They took an Uber.
Uber. That's not a knife. That's a knife.
Where you going, pal? Hey, I'm going. To
Okay, so this next
3-year-old
story,
movie.
we just have to file under. I have too much money.
Okay.
So I read that Jeff Bezos, who is
Jeff,
worth $127 billion.
that's
all?
it.
That's his
Wow.
net worth right now.
We should do like a fundraiser for him.
Just
got more than
built.
that in
Wait,
the bank.
this you just got to listen
I
to
got
this.
more
You
than
just
that in
gotta
my
hear-
pocket right now.
he wants us to shut up, Mike. He
Yes.
wants us
You
to
just
shut
got
up.
well because this is beyond belief. He built a 417-foot sailboat, which
Right.
makes it the second biggest sailboat in the world.
Right next to mine.
It's got 3 masts that are 230 feet tall above the deck of the boat. That doesn't count like from the waterline.
Right.
They say, which is the same height as the Great Pyramids. The boat has a movie theater, a swimming pool on a sailboat, a movie theater, gym, spa, the other stuff, everything, And when he had it made in Holland, they had to remove the top of this bridge so that they could get it out. And the entire town showed up to egg him.
Good.
So they
You know what?
egged the boat.
They egged him.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
but that's
they
the
egg the
sign of
boat.
a jerk off. Why don't you could buy, like, they got those old cruise boats. You guys cruise, you buy a cruise boat, you hollow it out, you put whatever you want in it. Like, that you don't have to.
Wait. The
Some
story
people
even
write.
the story even gets better.
Uh-oh.
So his girlfriend, who is Lauren Sanchez,
Well, I'm
who's
sure
a helicopter.
I'm sure who loves him unconditionally.
Well, she seems pretty wealthy too. She's a helicopter pilot and the owner of Black Op Aviation. She's the first female-owned aviation company.
Right.
So she likes to fly a helicopter. So after he built the sailboat, he realized that he couldn't put a heliport on the sailboat
What a
because
piece of shit.
because of the masts.
Right.
So he made a follow boat that follows him everywhere at a price of $77 million. It's 247 feet long with a helipad on it. It calls it his support vessel. And he says that it just follows him wherever he sails because you need a place to keep your toys.
Yeah, see, and that, I mean, I bought my wife flowers. I mean, doesn't that,
Just remember that the next time you order something on Amazon Prime.
This is the best part of the story. This is the best part of the story. The operation of the new 417-foot sailboat is $137,000 a day.
Jeez. And he makes that without a problem. I mean, he's, it's Amazon.
He needs something to do when he's not going into space.
Right.
So what he does is he flies his private jet to wherever they're going. Then he gets in a helicopter and he flies to the other boat, lands on the other boat, then gets in a tender that takes him to his sailboat.
Maybe Jeff Bezos is Batman. Maybe he is Batman. Got the bat boat, bat copter.
I'd like to think that even if I had that kind of money, I wouldn't become like that kind of an asshole.
Why not?
That yes, I might live a nice lifestyle, but I'd like to think that I take a lot of that money and help other people with it. Not that I won't. You can live like as a serious, nice, wealthy person and not be that fucking crazy and
what's his name from Microsoft?
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates has done that.
Well,
really
they've all said they'd do it. I don't know. Have they actually given? They talk about giving away their money.
They give away almost all their money. They have a big AIDS hospital thing in Africa and research centers all over. Yeah.
See, now I can appreciate that. I mean, that if you got that much money and you're helping mankind, it's like, yes, go for it.
But I can't even figure $137,000 a day operation costs. On what?
You gotta pay salary. You gotta pay salaries. You gotta keep it clean.
He's making delivery. He's making deliveries with that. It takes a lot of gas to fucking send that thing around making prime.
It doesn't even take a lot of gas. It's a sailboat.
It's a sailboat. How much friggin' sail power do you really think is being used? That thing's got engines. They're not really sailing that thing.
With 200-foot masts, that means that the sails are got to be huge.
230-foot masts, 3 masts, and there's pictures of it sailing. That thing books.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, what would a sail have to be made of? The whole
movie theater,
that big,
a sailboat.
Yeah, no shit.
Well, probably, in sailing, another one of my expertise. In sailing, regular sails are made out of like a Dacron nylon, but like high performance sails are made out of like Kevlar.
Right.
So they don't rip, they explode. I was in a sailboat race once on a 12-meter race, and we were coming to the finish line and we were neck and neck with the other boat. And I was doing this job called backstays, which you have to release the backstay so the boom will swing along and not take the mast down. And I looked up and I said to the captain, I go, we have a rip in the main sheet and the main sail.
Did you say it with a Scottish accent though? We got a rip in the mainsail, Captain. What can't go any further?
And this Australian captain guy goes to me, I don't really care, we're going for it, and just says, sheet in, and these guys have to use these grinders. We bring in the mainsail, we pick up speed, and it was like out of a movie. As we go across the finish line, the mainsail just explodes.
Wow.
It doesn't rip, it explodes like into little pieces, like 6-inch pieces.
I don't understand though. Why would it explode? Like because it's too tough to rip?
Yeah, it's carbon fiber. So carbon fiber is like a metal.
It's almost like a solid piece, like cars are made of carbon
soft.
fiber.
Yeah,
right?
it's soft, but it's like all the carbon fiber is all webbed into it, and the carbon fiber just breaks.
It's like what Spider-Man's webs are made out of. Some kind of shit like that. I mean, that's a strange material. Well, wouldn't Spider-Man's webs have to be made of some kind of Kevlar, whatever the hell kind of a thing?
It's some kind of polymer blend that he invented in a test tube.
Right. Oh, Peter Parker, very smart.
Very smart kid.
Yeah.
Also knows how to sew. Look at that costume. He knows how to sew.
Yep.
I mean, come on, you got to sew if you're going to be a superhero. I mean.
But I don't know. I tell you what, man, I know you like to sail, John, but you can keep sailing. I sailed once on this big sailboat, It was a boat that actually raced in the America's Cup. And they don't tell you. What they don't tell you is, you're right, these things go fast. But they also, when they get going, they lean over.
They
that
list,
almost-
right?
So I'm sitting on the side
Heel.
that's going back,
Okay.
and my
And
head
you
is
should
almost-
never be. You should never be on the side that's down.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to go on the
But
upside.
I did not know that. But on the way home, the other side. So no matter what side you're on, you're going to get that, because on the way home, the other side did that.
Well, you're supposed to be on that other side.
Well, there were no,
You know-
but this was like you pay. You know, there were people on all the seats. So it's
Where
like
where did you do this in
this
St.
was
Martin?
this was in Maui. We did this, and it's like my head's almost in the water. My stomach muscle. I'm trying to hold myself straight, and I'm realizing I don't have good core strength. I'm like, this is the worst fucking experience of my life.
That's really a bad captain.
Yeah, I don't
because-
have core strength either. I would have bent
Okay,
back.
so all right, so here's how a sailboat works. Okay, a sailboat works. You have a keel in the water.
Right.
The wind hits the sail on the side. Since the boat can't move sideways because of the keel, it generates forward lift like an airplane wing.
Right. Right.
And
right.
it sails. So what happens is, when you're sailing, if you're racing, you want to keep the sail completely straight up as you can, because if you're on an angle, the wind is passing over the sail.
Mhm.
So you really don't want to be tilted over that much. So in a race, as the boat would lean over, you guys would all come to the other side of the boat to try to keep the boat straight. The
Yeah.
straighter the boat sails, the more wind catches. It's
get you.
like if you stuck your hand out of a car window and put it like this,
Well,
you would
that
say
was-
stop, or
yeah.
do it like that. It's going to be
Well,
less.
that wasn't the case there, because these seats were filled. And so this woman on the other side, when she saw us on that side, and she, she's almost smiling because we're in fucking agony. But on the way back, this woman started crying. She's like crying.
Mike, you know what?
I never
think
heard
this
of
all
anybody
stems-
going. I never heard of anybody in my life going.
Hey man.
Yeah, we
To
were
this-
sailing, man, and I was in
To
agony.
this day, I get a flashback whenever I hear "Sailing takes me away." Oh no, God,
I-
kill
I-
him!
I
Oh,
think-
help me!
Mike, I think this all stems out of the fact that you feel that you're delicious for sharks, and I think you would be less delicious if you stopped using A1 for deodorant. I think that would
For
make it-
aftershave.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not tail lotion.
I
So
think that's-
yeah, sailboats are a little scary. I remember once my cousin had like a 50-foot or 38-foot wooden sailboat. And if you've never been on a wooden sailboat, when they lean over, everything creaks and it sounds like it's going to fall apart. The
Right.
mast is wood, everything's wood, all the boards kind of real sailors love that. So we were on the boat once with this guy who was a football player for Hofstra University. He's a big guy, he's a lineman.
Hofstra.
Soon as that boat heeled over, the guy panicked and tried to jump overboard. We had to tie him to the mast.
I don't blame him, man. I was
What
panicking
is this?
too.
What
I
about
was-
Bob?
We had to tie him to we had to tie him to the mast and head back and drop the sails because he was just out of his
I'm
mind.
sailing. I'm
That was-
sailing.
It was crazy.
That
It
was
a-
he was that cabin boy. What's his name? What was that? What's his name that did the cabin boy on? He did the
Oh,
movie
yeah.
Cabin Boy, but he played it on SNL. They did a scene there was a scene. I am tied to the mast.
Oh my God. Yeah,
what's
this
the-
is funny. This
Green,
whole topic
Green,
never
Tom
came up in our
Green.
meeting. either.
Tom Green, I think it was.
We never know where we're going.
No, we don't care where we're going
We
as
just
long as we're
go.
not sailing there.
No, but and what about Bob? They tied Bill Murray to the mast. He's like, I'm
Yes.
sailing. I'm
Baby
sailing.
steps, baby steps, baby steps.
well, it's I was in a sailboat race in my catamaran where I sailed 120 miles in a catamaran and then back, and I don't have a motor on my boat, and came back to the exact same tracks that I left
Well,
the day
a
before.
catamaran is a little different. Like say, I saw your catamaran, very nice boat. All you need is some seats that you might want to sit in. Very well, I mean, you got the choice in life to have a fucking boat with seats. Why don't you get some seats and do it comfortably? No, John's like, I'm gonna
There's a
fucking
hammock in
do
the
it.
middle.
I'm gonna do it as hard. When I get off this thing, I want to feel like somebody beat the shit out of me. You know.
Well, one is different. One is the sport of sailing, and one is like luxury sailing, cruising sailing. I
Yeah,
used to have
why
a
not?
cruising sailing boat with a
Right.
barbecue grill and a bathroom, and down below there was like everything you needed: solar ventilation and a seat and
What's
4
wrong with that?
bunks.
What's wrong
I'm
with
so-
that?
I'm so not in the same class with you guys. The only boat I've ever been on is a ferry.
No, I had a boat. I had a ferry. No, a
Ferry, I
ferry,
should
a
say.
ferry
Yeah.
boat. He was on a ferry boat. No,
That's
I
the
had
only boat
a.
I've ever been on in my life. I've never
I
been
owned.
on.
I owned a
Mike
boat
had a
once.
boat. That surprised me. Mike
And they
had a
say
boat.
they say that, and it's true. The best and worst day. The best day is of your life is the day you buy the boat, and the best day is the day you sell the fucking boat. I had a little ski boat, an old ski boat, 120 inboard, outboard horsepower, OMC, which they don't make anymore. It was a little 4-cylinder Chevy engine, and man, I tell you what, I had a blast with that thing.
You went
I,
shark
Where-
hunting in it. He was
Where
shark
did you
hunting.
have? Where did you have that boat?
I had it on a trailer. I kept it in my driveway.
But
But
in California or in,
in, Cal-
No, I
yeah,
mean,
in California,
I
yeah.
meant in California.
Yeah, yeah, in California. It was a lake boat. We used to take it to Lake Castaic, and there's some huge lakes, that we used to I just open that. I mean, when you get up and you're planing in that thing and you're just moving, that's a great feeling. It is fun. But but this thing had one thing your boat didn't have, John. It had a seat. It had seats.
Do you know
You
that?
could sit.
Do you know that
And a
my
throttle,
entire?
and a
Do you know that
throttle.
my? Do you know that my entire boat weighs 225 pounds?
Yeah, and well, I saw it because John, you got it on rails and it's got little rollers, and John, you can push it into the water yourself, right? It
Yeah.
sits on the beach, it's beached, and so yeah, I mean, I imagine it can't be too heavy if you're going to push it into the water yourself.
225 pounds. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's why it's a lot.
I weigh more than your boat.
We all weigh more
Oh,
than my
we
boat.
all weigh more than the boat. I
But,
I weigh John's boat, and if I'm carrying like a mailbox in one and a dog in another, it's like, and a sandwich.
Who knew? Who freaking knew?
Who knew? Who
Oh
knew?
no!
Give me a canoe.
Have
When
you
I
ever
was-
seen that video? It's been all over. This family. I just know there's like 2 girls in a bikini. They're on this speedboat, and they're just like, she's got the sunglasses on, and they're just kicking ass wherever they are. And then I guess he loses control, and they all go flying. Have you seen
Oh,
that
yeah,
one?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Hilarious.
Come on, man. Everyone's looking at that, waiting for a boob to pop out of the thing. That's like those
Yeah.
videos. You ever see the videos where they're on that the what is it, the ride, that slingshot thing?
Oh,
Right? And it's always a woman who has a loose shirt on, and everyone's watching just to see a boob pop out.
Do you see what they're doing with that now? Now I don't. I don't know if it's an internet trend or whether it's just going around. But they're like, okay, are you going to go? Oh, wait, your seatbelt isn't done, and they
Oh,
look down,
yeah.
and that's when they do it.
I'm
You're
sorry.
gonna give somebody a friggin' heart attack.
I'm sorry. I'd have to go back and murder that guy.
Yeah.
That's like
Have you,
kid
been,
that died.
have you guys been on that?
No,
The kid died in Florida last year on that.
really. Well,
How?
in that
He
ride
was a
that
big,
drops.
yeah. He was a big kid, big football player, and I guess they didn't check, but he couldn't buckle a seatbelt when it dropped. He just
Jesus.
dropped out of the top.
Holy
And so
shit.
didn't he say? And he didn't say that his seatbelt wasn't buckled. I mean,
No, I guess.
Oh, my
How high
God,
did they
that's-
go? It's like 450 feet or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
But then I saw the video. I'm like, there's no freaking
Yeah,
know
way.
what
this kid went out at the top as soon as it dropped.
you know what I want to know? What's the thrill? Who needs those? I don't like roller coasters. I don't do
wait.
none of those things. My life has been exciting enough. I don't need a fucking get a heart attack or get that by some ride. I
My
don't need
Wait,
father-
so he shot out. Wait, John, he shot out at the top.
Yeah. When, as
So
soon
I
as it
wonder.
dropped.
I wonder at that moment he went, I can see my house from here.
Oh, what a fucking
Oh.
awful way to die. I mean, the
Yeah.
kid was flying for a few, it's like jumping out of a
Nice.
skyscraper. What an
That's
awful.
not cool. It's not. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it was-
I'll
it
go
was-
sit over here.
I forgot what I was going to say.
That's okay, John.
I interrupted you,
You're
that's
not a
why.
young man anymore. Let's
I
see. Why
forgot
did you
John,
walk in the
take the blue
kitchen,
pill.
John? Why did you walk in the kitchen? I can't
Take the
remember.
blue pill, John. That's what you got to do. Take the pill.
They,
now.
It either helps your memory or gives you a heart on the blue pill.
It was about a ride, I guess. I don't know. I don't remember. Oh, I never remember. My dad told me that when he was growing up in Brooklyn, in Coney Island, they had a wooden roller coaster called the Big Dipper. And at the bottom of the big drop, it went into the water.
Oh shit.
So when you looked down, it looked like you were just going down,
So that
and then it would come
Wow.
out of the water. Since it was wood, it would frequently rot out.
See, I don't know
and-
if that was Coney Island. Coney Island was famous for the cyclone.
Yeah, the cyclone
Cyclone,
and the
yeah.
Big Dipper.
And the-
But the
okay, the-
cyclone, so the Big Dipper, and there's pictures of it. I looked it up. But so many people got hurt on it because when they got to the bottom, there was no track. They just kept going into the water.
Do you like?
Yeah,
Do you guys like
it-
roller
it-
coasters? Do you do that?
Yeah,
I like
I
wooden
was
ones.
on the something called the Thunderball at Coney Island when I was like 15, and it was a big old wooden coaster, not as big as a Cyclone, and it rattled and it shook,
Yeah, that's
and
what the fun part is. The wooden one.
it scared the fuck out of me. And 2 weeks later, they destroyed it. They
You
tore
can
it down.
keep it. The only ride I remember at Coney Island, I think it was called the Hellhole. And you got
Oh,
in
yeah.
and it spun around and it pinned you up against the wall and the floor would
Yes.
fall out. And I actually enjoyed that one. And up until the one time I was in it and this guy threw up and the vomit stayed in the air while we were spinning until we started to slow down. And then it came and it was so funny. It splashed back on him and the girl next to him. I mean, I laughed like no tomorrow. It was funniest thing I ever saw.
I was so fat, I slid down the wall, and everybody was just looking because when you slow down, the fat people slide down first.
Slide down.
Do you remember in Coney Island they used to have steeplechase?
Yeah.
What is steeplechase? No, I don't.
Okay, steeplechase was like a separate amusement park. Within it, where they had giant wooden slides with tables that threw you from table to table. But they used to have a ride called the steeplechase, which was the sickest ride in the world. I remember going on there as a kid and being terrorized. So there's 8 horses, right? Wooden horses that ride on a wooden track like a roller coaster.
Okay.
No seatbelt.
Right.
You get on this horse and you all take off down this hill. And it's actual race. You know, the guys get down low and they bang into the turns. It is so terrifying that it's unbelievable. You just the whole time you're going, oh my God, if I let go, I'm dead.
I wonder how many people actually died on that. They covered it up back in the day. They didn't report stuff like that.
That was Coney Island, right? It was on Steeplechase.
It was called Steeplechase, yeah. Coney Island.
I mean, it wasn't Action Park. Now that's where people got killed. Action Park.
Yeah, I heard about that. That place was like freaking. You had to sign in something.
I went to
Action Park.
I went to Action Park.
No, you didn't.
That was in New Jersey, right?
Yeah. So I go to Action Park, right? And they go, "Oh, this is a really cool water slide," right? So I go, "Okay." Not the one where you lose teeth. So it was like a hole. It was like a hole in the ground, right? So like an idiot, we're in college. We all jump in this hole. I go first. It's pitch black. Yeah. It's a tube underground. I don't even know how far it went underground. And then finally you're going, oh my God, is this ever going to end? Is this ever going to end? Then all of a sudden you see daylight and you go, oh, thank God. And you come out 15 feet over water that used to be the frozen ski lift water.
Right.
And you hit this water, and the water seriously is like 50 degrees. And some people hit the water.
Didn't you look at this thing operate before you jumped in the tube?
No, it was stupid.
I would always watch something. I would never get on something I didn't see somebody else do first. I mean,
they had that one with the tube, the loop one. Right. Where once they dismantled it after they banned the run, and they found all sorts of teeth stuck into the loop.
Yeah, because what happened was people would go into the loop and they would get to the top and they would fall down because they wouldn't make it through the loop. And then the next person coming would crash into them.
Yeah, and the guy, they didn't have a ride designer. The guy who owned the park decided he was going to design this.
Wow. You would think they would have, like, as a courtesy, a tooth collector that would, like, give you your teeth after the ride. Here you go. Here's your teeth.
Well, I know one guy who died got electrocuted because he fell out of one of the motorized boats and he hit an electric line and the water was electrified and he died that way. I know that happened.
Well, they used to have these little race cars, right?
Like bumper cars, kind of?
No, like little go-karts with covers on them.
Cool. That sounds
And the deal was these guys, there's one turn where if you hit the turn right, you could go over the grass and onto Route 17. And these guys would just take off in the cars. And they'd have to chase them.
Imagine you make it safely in Route 17 and you're going down the street and like cars and trucks are passing you.
Oh man.
And then there's another thing they had called the bobsled, which was a concrete bobsled on wheels. And you had to be able to really know what you're doing to brake because you got to the S turn and people would just go flying out and break everything. And
they wonder why Action Park, that was sued they had to close it down because
it was a great documentary. It was fantastic. It's just
I don't know. I never went there. We used to go to Great Adventure. That was in New Jersey.
Great adventure. It's
Great
fun.
Adventure, which was a Six Flags, so they had to have some kind of safety.
Right,
whatever.
right before they built Co-op City, they
Yeah.
used to have a thing called Freedom Land.
Which is my grandparents lived in Co-op City.
Right. So, but it was an amusement park before it was Co-op City.
I never knew that.
And like
John, sorry. Go ahead.
no. Anyway, it was an amusement park, and I remember as a kid, I saw like the Isley Brothers there. They used to have bands at night and stuff, and they used to have this rocket to Mars. It was all kind of like second-rate attractions,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean, because it wasn't like a lot of money in the park.
Right.
But we used to love that place as a kid. And my dad was so sadistic. My dad would get up and be pouring out right on a Sunday. And he'd come in and go, it's a shame it's raining. I was going to take you guys to Freedom Land today.
Oh,
It was like a running joke every time
Yeah.
the weather was crappy.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe
my-
I was playing.
I
It was
remember
a
my
surprise.
friend-
It was a
It was a
surprise.
surprise. We were gonna go. Damn it! I'm
When my
so
friend got married
disappointed.
in 1986. He got married in February of 86. He decided to have his bachelor party at Great Adventure because it was open in February. And we went there.
He was a romantic, is what you're
He
saying.
was. It was just four guys. We were all in our 20s, and so we go. And this is still the most disturbing sight I've ever seen at a theme park, because it was basically a couple of weeks after the Challenger exploded.
Right.
Right. So we're in there, and they had. You ever see this ride where sometimes it's a pirate ship, and it's got a main thing, and it
goes back,
upside down.
back and
Yes.
forth. Yeah.
And it goes until it goes
Yes.
upside down and it stays there for a second.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Well, at Great Adventure, it was a space shuttle, not a pirate ship, and it was hanging upside down, and everybody in it was screaming. And I'm like, man, this is just not cool, right?
Yeah, and that's not
Wow.
the good timing. What I want to know is, talking about these parks. What about, like, you ever been traveling and you'll just see a sign and it'll be for like some little zoo or like in Florida, there's alligator, there's all these different things. It's like some guy just decided to collect exotic animals and put them in, as an attraction. It's like, don't they're
It's a Tiger King.
yeah,
Tiger
there's like,
King.
what
Joe,
the
what's
hell
his
is-
name? Joe something?
I
Joe?
never saw the show, so I'm like probably the only person.
You want to know
that
how
knows.
nuts I am? When my kids were little, I was driving, like you said, through some back roads in Huntington,
Right.
and there was a guy on the side of the road, get your picture taken with the tiger for $10. I just put my kids on this piece
Yeah.
with a tiger, with some guy with a beard down to here.
And just
Joe
coincidentally,
Exotic.
he had just insured them with life insurance the day before.
I
Coincidentally,
mean, it was like, I looked at the picture. I found the picture, I don't know, a couple of years ago, and I went, what was I thinking?
was it a tiger?
Yeah, it was a tiger.
It was so you put your kids
And me.
in a-
And me.
and you
three
with
of
a,
us.
with a,
Three of
with a
us.
live tiger because it's got to be okay. The guy says it's okay. It's got to be okay. Look at John, man. What the fuck is wrong with you, man?
And I was really protective of my kids. So
Did you have
we
your
thought
frosted flakes too? Yeah,
it was,
great.
it was
I was real protective of my kids. So one time there was a fire, and I took one of them and I smashed the fire out.
I was
of
real
their
protective of
face.
my three kids. But John, you only have two kids. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. The tiger.
yeah, this guy was on the side of the road. Get your picture taken with the tiger. There was people lined up to do it.
Oh man. Well, you know what? See, and John offered, but we should have done this. John wanted to take me on one of those airboats. What do they call those? Those fan
Airboats.
And
Hydrofoil.
then afterwards,
Airboat.
the guy has alligator, so you can actually, which I want to do. I want to eat a piece of alligator. I want to try alligator.
You know,
It's like
your
tough
friend,
chicken.
what's his name? Kurt Howard?
Clint Howard.
Clint Howard, sorry. Clint Howard was on a hydrofoil on an airboat in Gentle Bend. Actually, in the opening and closing
Listen,
credits. He's on-
he has more balls than me. The guy worked with a bear.
He was-
worked
he
with
was
a
seven.
freaking bear, and he was 7 years old. And how much did his parents care about him? Yeah, guy at work was there's a paycheck. Yeah, put him with the bear. Come on, Clint, don't be afraid. Stop crying. Stop going over by the bear.
Is
Wow,
Ben
there was
really
a-
gentle, or is he? Come on.
I saw a video the other day on YouTube of a guy walking through the woods in Alaska, and a bear comes running down towards him. And through the whole video, he's just going, good bear, okay, bear.
Oh yeah,
And he's just walking backwards. And then the
That'll
bear
walk
would
backwards.
charge. The bear would charge and climb up the tree.
Yeah, yeah. I saw
And then in
that.
the end, it finally came running at him. He sprayed
hit
it
with
with
some
that
bear
bear
spray.
spray.
And it ran off. The bear spray worked.
So when I was in Alaska, all I wanted to do was go salmon fishing when the salmon are running, right? So I found this place where they give you like everything. They set you all up, and they give you like a creel to put your fish in, and they give you the rod and reel, and you go out to this stream behind there where the salmon are running. So I waited, and then finally I decided, all right, this week I'm going. So I go there, I pay the money, and the guy gives me a belt with these two big canisters, like the size, twice the size of the biggest spray paint you've ever seen. And I go, what's that? He goes, oh, that's your bear spray.
That's your bear spray.
And I go, wait, I go, what? And he goes, yeah, it's like pepper spray for bears. He goes, you have to understand, when bears get older, they get lazy and they don't like to fish in the stream. So they wait till you pull them out.
Oh,
and
man.
they'll gladly take them from you.
Right.
In gay life, bear spray is glitter. Just letting you know.
Hit him with some bear spray.
So anyway, I got all set. I'm all dressed. I got my bear spray. I'm ready to go.
Rip
And the guide comes in and goes, "Hey, you got to call this off. There's 4 bears rocking back and forth, just taking the fish from everybody."
Oh man!
I was
just
like,
throw the fish at them.
I was like, all right, I don't think I want to see that. And these bears in Alaska, man, they are bears like bears and a half.
Yeah.
I mean, they have stuffed some of them in the airport,
and
they're like 12 feet tall. They're like
It's a
12
Kodiak
feet tall.
bear,
And
right?
they do shit in the woods. Kodiak isn't
I know.
Kodiak and Grizzly the same thing? Are they the same or
No.
No, Kodiak's way bigger. Plus, they take pictures. Oh, that's a Kodak bear. Never
Kodiak.
mind.
Kodak
They have
bear,
they
give me
have
the-
paws like the size of a basketball.
You're turning me on. Stop.
I love hearing New Yorkers go, paws. You got paws. The bear got paws.
Boys,
You got paws. Bear walks into the bar and he
Hey,
says,
giant.
what was that joke? The bear walks into a bar and goes, I'll have the bartender goes, what's with the big paws? He goes, I don't know. I had them since I was born.
Oh man. See, and I forgot my book. I looked.
It was a
purposely-
penguin car. It was a penguin.
Hey, you know what? You know who I was thinking of this week? I was thinking of our buddy Michael Carbonaro. He's doing that. He's in the Rio, right? Isn't he? Isn't he in the
He's going to take over he's taking over the Penn and Teller Theater. Yeah.
Fucking hey, Michael, kicking
Yeah.
ass, man. That guy
Friend
has
of
just
the
an
show.
incredible, and he's an incredible. If you are in Las Vegas, go to the Rio. Go get tickets. Go
Not
see
the
Michael
Rio. Is
Carbonaro.
it the Rio?
I'm
Is
pretty
it the
sure
Rio?
was in the Rio when I was there. I thought,
Okay,
but
then that's where it is. I'm
We
sorry.
can double check that,
I love
but
this show,
if-
The Carbonaro Effect. Loved it.
incredible show, great show, and he's amazing live. If you're in Vegas, trust me, look up the show, go see
Yeah,
Michael
you gotta see
Carbonaro in the show because he's
a good
amazing.
guy. I asked him to make my debt disappear, and he just walked away. So, but he's still a good guy.
Yeah. Tell him you're a friend of the big bad broadcaster and they'll let you in for full price.
That's right.
They'll double it. They'll double your price.
But
All right, so
seriously, though,
I
it.
got like 2 little crazy stories still.
I got a couple too.
Yeah, I got 1 or 2.
All right, so then-
pause.
Yeah, bear paws.
Yeah, pause. How you doing?
All right, well then you guys should go because I have kind of a longer one at the end.
Oh, okay.
But
let's go
this one is
Comedian.
quick. This one is quick. There's a public teacher that showed a film that has a gay character in it in Florida,
Mhm.
and it's the Disney movie called Strange World, and
Oh.
as part of her
Thought-
Earth
I
science
thought it was gonna
lesson.
be called "It's a Small Penis" after all.
Oh no! Stop.
And
It's a
at the
small-
recent school, so she showed this movie that's been rated, G. It's been vetted by the whoever rates movies, and there's a gay character in the movie.
Siskel
so the-
and Ebert.
So the Mothers of Liberty said, and she also is LGBTGTO.
GTO. That's
GTO
like
down
that's
board.
the muscle car for gay
She's a
people.
GTO.
The LBG GTO. It's a muscle car for gay people. Get your motor running.
So anyway, they now she's facing a felony,
For showing a film,
a
or-
Disney movie.
it's just beyond. Let me ask you. Me and Craig are about the same age. You're a little older. There were gay characters in movies. There were gay characters on TV. Did it have any influence on? Here, I'll ask Craig because Craig's gay. Did they have any influence on you, Craig? Any at
No.
all? Except
No.
maybe to make you laugh, make you cry, like
No.
entertain you. But show me one person that says that somebody in TV, a movie, or a drag queen made them gay. Show me one person.
It does, I've known I was gay since I was 13. None of that had any influence on me. As a
We
matter
knew
of
you were
fact,
gay since you were 4, but that's okay.
well, how would you know that? Anyway, I didn't know.
We can just imagine.
It's just
I guess. No, but the thing is, it doesn't make, like, I remember the first time I was in a gay bar and I saw two men dancing. It seemed so foreign to me, but the worst it's going to do is like, okay, you can do that here. That's it.
Rip
Yeah,
Taylor. I remember Rip Taylor always went around throwing things. What's his name? Also, who I love very
Paul
much.
Lynn.
Was gay.
Paul Lynn.
Paul Lynn.
Paul Lynn.
Paul Lynn's really gay.
Also, who's the guy who was always on the Hollywood Squares? He did a show.
Peter Marshall.
Paul-
Who was it?
Paul Lynn was always on Hollywood
Paul
Squares.
Lynn, but there was another guy, Riley Nelson.
Oh,
yeah.
that's a match game. That's a match game.
What was his name though? Nelson Paul.
Charles
not-
Nelson Riley.
Charles Nelson Riley. He did a show here, the Falcon Theater. These things never affected us one way or another, except to make you knew the guy was gay. Everyone knew he was gay. The
No,
only
they're
people
worried about kids
pretended-
watching an animated film and seeing two men kiss. And for some reason, they're going to go, oh, I'm going to try that. And then they're going to go try it and go, oh, I like that. And it doesn't work that way because I grew up watching men and women kiss. And guess what? I'm not kissing women. So
Whatever.
it doesn't work that way.
It's just a diversion. It's just such bullshit. Go after real fucking things that are wrong in the world and stop worrying about fucking bullshit.
Remember
I
my
was telling
favorite?
John before we started that one of the things, and this is going to be controversial, but the people who lack critical thinking, people who are prejudiced to begin with, I understand why they're freaking out because they feel like all this is being shoved down their throat like there's some kind of agenda.
And I've heard that.
It's not. It's just a societal craze right now, and it will calm down and become more normalized. But right now,
See, and I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I think that the reason why it is such a thing is because the other side is making it such a big thing
Yeah.
that they have to come out to defend themselves.
And I love this thing that
well,
they
no,
go,
I'm not talking about not defending yourself. I'm talking
Right,
about
right.
look at all these commercials. It's like
I
one out
know.
of every 3 commercials. It's a gay character, and people feel like they're taking over. They're
Yeah,
threatening
but here's the
because they
thing.
can't think.
Here's the thing. Now they say and I've heard this many times. Oh, they're shoving it down my throat. They're shoving it down your throat.
right.
No, what they're doing is they're showing it exists. And you see, so what
Yes.
you're saying is that when a man and a woman are kissing, are we shoving that down a gay person? It's just
Right.
normal. And so what they're doing is just saying this is normal. It's not shoving it down your throat.
And
It's-
and these people lack the ability, lack critical thinking. They lack common sense,
Now,
so they feel like it's an agenda.
I do agree that fucking Hollywood is going overboard.
I agree.
They're trying to fucking they are trying to force some kind of acceptance, which I think if they weren't doing that, people would be more accepting. It's like
Well, let me just
the most immoral place in the world, Hollywood, is trying to fucking give people morals. Please go.
let
fuck
me just say
yourself.
this. I get Actors Access, for auditions. I'm sure you probably know what I'm talking about. I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
Anyway, there was an audition came up. It said looking for a man 55 to 65, gray beard, gray hair, for a rabbi. I'm like, I fit that. I can
A
definitely do a
rabbi,
rabbi. And it goes, must be Jewish.
Like you can tell. What are you going to check my dick?
I sent it in anyway. If they asked me, I'm like, yeah. I'd be like, glad to have a notch. I'm a little Jewish. It's okay. I can do the role. Whatever.
Because it's all about like years ago they wouldn't have today they wouldn't be able to make those cowboy movies unless every guy running down the hill screaming was really an Indian.
Yeah, exactly. It's
You know what I mean?
Actors,
Which is acting. I mean, where's the acting?
That's it.
well, putting people in red face, that was kind of,
And you know what? It's really hard for me sometimes, and I don't know, maybe I'm old, but sometimes it's really hard for me when I see a movie and there's a woman playing a guy, and it's not transgender, or in a play, because
like Victor Victoria.
no, like right now you can,
Oh,
I
now
don't know.
like Hamilton.
Yeah. Like to me,
All
that
right.
was really like it was hard to get used to mentally, and it's
Yeah,
me.
I agree.
I'm old, I guess.
I don't know.
I don't have
I-
anything
I-
against it.
I-
I'm not calling the mothers. I'm not calling the mothers of liberty. I'm
No,
not.
I get
protesting
upset when they
it.
do. I get upset when they do revisionist history. Where like in Hamilton, I'm not mad about it. I just get I can't understand. I can't tell you why it bothers me. I guess because historically, people in the Continental Congress were not all diverse. They weren't, Asian and African American.
Right, right.
They were all
I-
stuffy white men, and
I
that's
think
part
their
of the
point-
story.
And
I
the
think their
biggest
point was, though, it doesn't matter. They're showing you that skin color
right,
doesn't
yes,
matter.
yes, right. And the
doesn't.
biggest thing about that was they didn't even have rap back then.
Wow, and here I was thinking that this was historically accurate, except for the color thing. But now, John, you just fucked me
Benjamin
up.
Franklin could rap. Benjamin Franklin could rap.
That's right.
Come
I
on.
got me a kite and I'm fucking putting electricity,
Right.
motherfucker.
Electricity.
Oh my God, we are probably the worst rappers that ever could be, man. Not even. Fuck, Eminem would just slap the shit out of us, or any rapper, man.
Did you ever see that
We can't
Mike?
rap.
You ever hear that Mike? What is his name? Mike Bibiglio?
No, I don't know.
You know,
I'll tell you the truth. I don't know.
Oh, he's
rap
really
music.
no, he's a comedian.
Oh,
He's really funny. He says he's an older guy. You'd like him. He's like
Michael
our
Bibiglio.
generation. Yeah, he does a thing about how, rap used to be so mellow, like it would be like, my name is this, and da, 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 blah, blah, blah. And he goes and all this death and kill. He goes, it'd be like me finishing my show going, my name is Mike, but big, I do some comedy. Biglia.
well, no. In the beginning, rap was like
Biglia.
rap was fun, and I remember in the beginning. I remember, I grew up in the projects, and I remember them playing there'd be like 400 or 500 people gathered in this big park, and then they'd play like the beginnings of rap, like
Right.
the Sugar
With
Hill Gang, and
And Angel what is his name? Alazar supplied the music for the whole park.
Salazar,
Salazar.
with the boombox,
With that boombox he had, which was the size of my
a
desk.
hip hop, a hibbit to the
Yeah.
hibbit,
I
a
wonder if he
hip
still
hip
has
hop.
that.
Yeah, that's a
Rock
song
it.
that Biglia does in
Yeah.
his act.
In the
He goes,
bang
it's
bang
just-
boogie, sit up, jump the boogie to the boogie of the rhythm of
I love
boogie.
Wow.
I used to do a Flintstone rap in my act. It
Oh,
was
really?
like it was okay.
Let's hear it.
Oh,
Just
I'm
kidding.
in bedrock,
No.
bedrock, bedrock. I'm in a nightmare walking. Dino as I'm talking to Bunny Rubble, who is always walking. Something like that.
I did a thing on Comic Strip Live that actually Lenny Travis wrote for me. Because
Lenny.
I talked about how I moved to New York and I got a new apartment and it's really nice, except I've been robbed 4 times in the last 3 weeks. I went to the landlord and I said I thought it was video surveillance, and he goes, it is. I have a videotape of the guy that robbed you. And he puts it in and he goes, well, I went to your door and I gave a knock. No one was home, so I picked the lock. I took the color TV and the VCR. I took the keys off the table to your brand new car. So next time, I was like, next time I'll do you a favor. I won't rob you. I'll rob your neighbor. Neighbor. No, neighbor.
And ladies and
But
gentlemen,
you can
that's,
definitely tell a white man wrote that, though.
that's
Yeah.
why we don't sing.
Yeah, exactly. Except
Now,
Taxi.
but my story is
Taxi.
short.
I
so
do
I'll
my
do
Elvis though. I do my
You want
I
your
told you I
story?
read for the Sons of Anarchy. I had to sing a song. I had to sing an Elvis song. The snowflies.
All right, Craig, we got to do your story because I got to get to this last one that's
Okay,
going to
we
take
only
a
have about
while.
15 minutes. So, well, my story is really weird. It's they back in 2005, one of the last surviving 4 screen used pair of ruby slippers were stolen.
Oh, I heard about that.
They found them in 2018
In Elton John's closet.
in Elton John's closet
On his feet in the closet.
on his feet, and he was dancing. No, and this year they found the guy who stole it. He was 75 years old. And now he's up on charges for stealing the ruby slippers. And basically, they asked for his defense. And, because he lived right down the block from the Judy Garland Museum.
Yeah.
And
I still don't know why he didn't click his heel together 3 times and just leave.
Yeah, he wanted to go home. That was my punchline. Thanks, there, Mike. I guess it was that obvious. So,
Craig, either you got to move faster or you got to make your punchlines better. Because if I can do
Okay.
it mouth,
I too much setup there, Craig. Too much setup. No, but
Okay.
I'm thinking to myself, you know
As
how
Lucia
they
would,
went-
as Lucia would say, a little tighter.
I know when he stole them in 2005, they were worth $1 million.
right.
Guess how much
Right.
they're worth now? Guess how much?
$5 million.
Close, $3.5 million for a pair of stinky.
Okay,
Ocean.
so you know when you've come to visit me at the Magic Castle, right?
Yeah.
That hotel that I stay in.
Yes.
You know
Yeah.
the house across the street from there, and it's
Where
got
you-
like a tower on it.
Yeah.
That's where the guy wrote The Wizard of Oz, in that tower.
Really?
He's off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
So I mean, the movie. You're not talking about L. Frank Baum.
And
You're
I've
talking-
worked on a lot where they filmed the Wizard of Oz. I mean, like it's I can't remember. Is it MGM or I think it was
MGM.
somebody I remember
Culver City now.
Culver City, right? Because I remember they're actually they built part of it and they took part of the studio, they made houses and stuff, and it's actually was part of the set of the Wizard of Oz. I mean, it's the most legendary movie and one of the most in Hollywood.
My friend was filming a Pirates of Penzance thing for the DVD. He was dressed as a pirate, and he's
Pirates of
standing somewhere,
Pansy-ass?
huh?
Nothing.
Yeah. The guy comes up, a PA comes up to him and goes, "You know where you're standing, right?" He goes, "No." He goes, "That's where the trap door was, where the Wicked Witch fell into in Oz." And my friend just kind of lost his mind. He just lost it, and then he went and stole the shoes, and you know the rest of the story.
Well, I'll tell you, if you work, I've worked on, I don't know, probably almost every studio in friggin' LA, not every, but a lot. And it is magical. There's something magical at especially when somebody will take the time and tell you a little bit of the history, like CBS Radford, that's where the Gilligan's Island. So some of the streets are named after, and then they show you where the lagoon was or
It's a
where,
parking lot now.
yeah, we're Gone with the Wind and all these movies. It's like you can almost feel the magic in the air. It's like, I remember when I first, moved out here and I started working and going on the Warner Brothers lot, and it is a magical town, man. It really
Yeah,
is.
you just feel like if you go to Paramount, you pass by stage. I think it's stage 15. That's where they shot Next Generation. That's where they shot Voyager.
Yeah. And then there's the what do you call it? There's the one right on Pico and the Fox Studios. Then you see where Star was, because there's the friggin' painted. There's a huge Darth Vader, and then there's the sets of
They shot it out here. I thought they shot that in London. No.
No. The originals were shot in friggin' scenes all through the valley, and
I didn't know that.
some of the, no, not. I'm pretty sure most of it was shot probably on sound stages right there at Fox.
Nice.
Some of it
Sure.
might have been shot in London. I don't know.
Well-
so we're gonna close with John's story there, Mike. What was your
We're
story?
gonna close with John's story.
His story was the trough.
Okay, it's Rob. All right.
No, I had a story about a pregnant lady there, but don't worry about it. We'll do John's last
Well, you
story.
can do it if you want.
Lady.
No, I don't mind. It was just about
It's about a pregnant lady.
All right, so this story I'm going to tell you, I saw a little bit of it on the internet, and I thought it was one of those internet scam stories.
Have you been on that intranet again, John? That interweb?
Yes,
on the-
because
on the
because
interwebs.
I don't live in Oregon, and I'm allowed to have TikTok on my phone.
I don't
Our-
use chiclets for my front teeth, so
Oregon actually banned anyone having TikTok on their phone.
I heard.
Fuck
man.
out of here, really?
Yeah.
Goes into effect January 1st.
Well, of next year.
Yeah.
How they gonna tell if you have TikTok?
I don't know.
Kick in your door, fascist police, and fucking check your phone.
Oh.
I don't
All
know.
right, so I saw this thing on the internet, and sometimes you see these internet stories and you go, this couldn't be true.
Right.
So I looked it up, and it found it on Wikipedia with all references. So I'm pretty much sure this is a true story, and there was pictures, which unfortunately we can't see on this audio podcast.
That's right.
And but yeah, I this story is unbelievable. If you're squeamish, you may not want to hear it. But we'll have Mike and you interject some stuff to take the edge off the story.
Hopefully.
So maybe we could have a little creepy music. That would be really good. Here we go. You can actually make it a little bit lower.
Oh, okay.
All right, so this is the weirdest thing in the world. It's too loud. It's too loud. Maybe we don't
There you
need the music.
There you go. It's lower.
Okay, this is actually a true story from Key West. It was the year 1930. There was a woman from Cuba, Elena Malgares de Hoyos. And she was supposedly one of the most beautiful women in the world. She'd walk down the street and people would stop her just to say how beautiful she was. And she got ill in 1930. And her mother was concerned, so she took her to the hospital, the Naval Hospital in Key West. Side note, that's where my dad worked. Shut up, Mike. You like this part. Where she met this guy, Carl Tanzler, who was 30 years older than him, who went by the alias Count Carl Van Kozel.
What? Is he a breakfast cereal?
And he wasn't even a count. He just made that up.
He just, I love it though. I want to be called Count, man. Call me Count
Yeah.
Grief.
Oh, as soon as he set eyes on her, he knew that 10 years before she was even born, his ancestors came to him and said, "You will marry this beautiful woman." And he had seen her in a dream.
Okay, right.
So he immediately proposed to her after meeting her for 5 minutes.
I'm not a pedophile. No, I'm not.
And she said, no, of course I'm not marrying you.
Yeah,
What was she, 10?
So she was like 20 and he was like 50.
Oh, well, there you go. But he was a
So-
count. But it was a count, you know,
But he
so
was
that
a
counts
ca-
for something.
He was a made-up count.
He was a made-up count.
Your classic
No.
May December.
So wait. He falls madly in love with her. And he says to the mother and the sister, "Can I do experimental treatments on her? I think I can cure her."
You
'Cause
didn't mention she was sick.
Yeah, I did. She had to. Oh, I'm sorry. Her mother took her to the hospital, I said. It turned out she had tuberculosis. Everybody had tuberculosis. Every one of my stories is about tuberculosis. So anyway, she had tuberculosis. So he was going to cure her, right? So we don't know what he gave her, but for a year she was in agony until she died. And he was so enamored by her that he asked the family if he could build this massive mausoleum for her in the Key West Cemetery. And they said yes. And he said because he respected her so much and he loved her so much. And they didn't have a lot of money and they figured it would be a beautiful final resting place.
Let Count Chocula bury
Right.
build that thing.
Or
So-
Frankenberry.
So it should have been a little weird when he installed electric lighting
Oh, there
in
you
the
go.
mausoleum.
So she
and a-
could see when, you know,
And wait, and a phone
and a phone.
that
There
went
you go.
directly to her casket.
Would that, I guess that wouldn't be long distance. Would it?
No. And then every night he would sit there and call her for 2 years and over the phone call her and ask her to marry him.
Hmm.
And after like 2 years, he
Somebody should
decided.
have snuck in there and
Wait,
be like, "Who is
wait,
this? Why do you keep
And
calling
he
After
would-
me?"
2 years, he's like,
wait,
my phone bill is
wait,
really bad.
wait. He would bring her like candy and jewelry and perfume. And at one point, he
Which
even
is
bought,
what dead chicks really love. They really love candy.
and he bought her. And he bought her a mahogany bed.
Nice.
Oh no.
So one night after 2 years, he had to
No.
take matters in his own hands. So
No.
he got a little red wagon, and he took her out of there because he had a key to the mausoleum and took her home.
Oh,
Once
come
he-
on.
Once he got her home, he reattached all her limbs with piano wire
Now wait, why were her limbs detached?
because she's been dead now for 2 years.
Okay.
Because she went on one of those little spring
So,
things.
so he
that-
piano wired her
Yeah.
back together?
Yes. And then he stuffed her chest
Oh
with
my
rags and then
Oh, no.
repaired her skin with beeswax and silk and then put
Oh.
glass eyes in her.
You know how
Oh,
nasty
come
that
on.
is? Come on, man.
Dressed her in a wedding gown and laid her on the mahogany bed
Nice.
and then serenaded her every night with a pipe organ from a church.
beeswaxed her. So he was waxing his wood.
And there's actually, you can look this up. There's a picture of her, what she looked like after she was redone.
Oh
I'm
my.
pretty sure that's what Phil
Wait.
what Dr.
Wait,
Dr.
it gets
Phil told
worse.
his wife.
So this went on for 9 years.
Come on.
Is
a
this
true
guy's
story.
name Count
Count Dracula.
Santos?
Count Dracula.
Count Santos?
So one day the kids in the neighborhood said they saw this old man dancing with a bride through the windows.
Right.
So the sister became alarmed and she showed up at the house unannounced. And he was happy to see the sister. And he said, Elena, your sister's here to see you.
Oh no.
So she brought her upstairs. And of course, the sister was just horrified. And if you saw the picture, you'd be horrified too.
To see
So
her
he was-
dead sister there held together with piano wire, and every time the wind blowed, it would play her favorite song.
Oh,
This is sick, John. This is sick.
I know, but wait, it gets even worse.
It's like
So,
a movie Psycho.
How can it even get it? How can it even get worse? So they arrest the guy and they go to court, but the statute of limitations has run out.
Yeah, statue of limitations.
So they
Yes.
they can't prosecute him.
Right.
So the family takes the body and has it dismembered into 3 separate pieces and buries it in 3 separate graves. So Von Count Nutsbag couldn't find her body anymore.
Yeah.
So in disgrace, he goes back to Zephyr Hills, Florida, where he was-
Zephyr Hills.
where he was originally, only to find out he had a wife and 2 kids.
What?
So the wife throws him out of the house when she finds that, he's been living with a dead body for 9 years.
Well, Florida, this isn't even a strange story. Now that you say it's Florida, I'm getting it.
So anyway, she throws him out of the house and he's living by himself in another house. And one day he doesn't answer the door and they go in and he's passed away.
And somebody stuffed him and put him back.
And
together
now
with
laying
piano.
next to him was a replica of Elena that he had made from a death mask that he had made of her.
Oh
Wow.
And then 2 years later, when they were cleaning out his stuff, they found his journal. And his journal said that he had paid somebody to switch the body. And that was actually Elena with him.
So you might say he was a little obsessive compulsive.
You think?
I'm gonna put you together with piano wire and beeswax.
But what I need to know is he available for children's parties? That's what I need to know.
It's just I don't know, like what
year?
that?
What year? What year?
1930.
1930.
Sounds
Okay.
about right.
And it went on and he died in I think he was 80 when he died.
Yeah. Well, he was
So
preserved
that was
with
like
beeswax.
1960. Yeah. When Psycho came out. There you
You know
go.
what? You know what? It's and it's not. So thank you for telling me that story, because now all I can think of is this guy banging this dead, held together with piano wire corpse.
Oh, like you've never done it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it wasn't that old. I mean,
I don't know if he did do that.
No, come on. Of course he did. What do you think?
I
the
don't
beeswax
know. I
was
don't know.
for?
No, because the beeswax was to put her face back together.
Put her face. No, it was to wax his. No,
All right.
I'm
you
not
know,
even going to
this,
say it.
this is getting really too clinical.
Yes.
mean,
I think
if I wasn't gay already.
Listen, my
I
dog is
think-
upset. I hear my dog bark, and he's pissed
I
off.
think that seriously, I think that he didn't. That's what they were kind of saying, that he didn't. So that's right. Let's have a round of applause for Mike Grief.
Yeah, everybody, I love you.
I'm
all.
sorry. I'm stand corrected. Count Mike Grief.
Count 'em.
Grief.
I'm a
Count
count of my
grief.
grief. I love everybody.
grief.
Please.
And Rabbi Shecky Steen over there.
Shalom, Shabbat.
Who's wearing his big bad broadcast hat? Good for
Which
you,
they
brother.
can't see.
They can't see, but they can know. We got merch. You want to buy merch? Contact the podcast Blake, and we'll sell you some merch.
The
Well, maybe
hat's
you could win-
$50.
Or maybe you could win some
$50.
merch. You know what? We're gonna have like a giveaway contest, win some merch. We're gonna figure out how to do that, and then you
We'll
people are
figure
gonna
it
get
out.
some merch. Merch.
And you
All
can
right.
hear us on the podcast playground.
Yes.
And we're everywhere where you can hear our
Anywhere you
podcast.
listen to your favorite
Anywhere you
pod.
listen to your
Where
favorite
you
podcast.
with your
Let's
Apple
listen.
on your
We're on
Apple.
Apple Podcasts.
Apple
We're even on
Podcasts.
Audible now,
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's cool.
Yep.
Awesome. All right.
which is very cool.
God bless you.
So anyway, until next week,
All right. Peace.
Stay away
everybody.
from pianos.
stay away from piano wires and beeswax and silk.
Peace.